greetings, and welcome everybody. Welcome to this week's Real Talk with ZSJ. I'm your host, Sister Zakia here. Looking forward to this conversation tonight. Welcome everybody. Y'all check in the chat. Let me know where you all are watching from. Let me know what city and state or what part of the world you are watching from. I have listeners in Africa. I have listeners in the UK, Canada, and other parts of the world. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited about having this conversation tonight. I have a very special guest. Sister Ren G is here. And we're going to talk about something that is very, very important to me, which is Black nationalism, and particularly Black nationalist women, which is something that's very, very important. Sister Marley K checking in. Hey, sis. Fort
Hey,
Lauderdale
Marley.
in the building. Yes. As y'all know, every week, make sure y'all are hitting that thumbs up button, making sure you all are sharing this out. This is going to be a very, very lively conversation. So hit the thumbs up button, share it out, whether you're watching with us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. So at the top today, I had mentioned earlier that I wanted to do a small acknowledgement in tribute to our brother, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Dr. Khalid was one of the most prolific Black nationalists of the 20th century. Our brother was a minister with the Nation of Islam. When he transitioned from the nation, of course, he started the New Black Panther Party. And the brother was just uncompromising. He did not play about us as African people, as Black people. And he was brilliant. The brother had a PhD. The brother traveled the world, spent a lot of time over in Uganda at the invitation of the president at the time. And so just wanted to just bring his spirit. We're talking about Black nationalism, and today is his birthday. We have to just center the fact that his life meant a lot to us and meant a lot to our struggle. But I want to allow my sister Ren G to introduce herself to you all first, and then we will bring up hopefully a small clip if I can get my audio to act right here. Sister Ren, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much, Sister Zakia, for inviting me here tonight. It is an honor to be here. I am so appreciative of everything that you do for our people, and just knowing that I watched the show and looking back at some of the past esteemed guests, and I'm like, ooh, Lord. So, I hope I do it justice tonight. But my name is Ren. On Twitter, I'm Black Mixed with Black. Just simply put, I am a community member. I am a Black woman. I am professional. I've been a nurse for 15 years. I am also a public health professional. I specialize in sexual health, reproductive health, epidemiology, infectious disease.
Yes, so we definitely are going to get into some of that as well. I know that the sexual health piece, something that is very, very important, certainly to us as Black people, and then we certainly need to do a better job of talking about how we can heal in those areas. Certainly, within our community, because we have to acknowledge that those types of harms, unfortunately, do happen. Within our community. So we will definitely spend some time as well tonight talking about that. So I appreciate the fact that you bring that lens to this conversation, because again, we need more Black health professionals to who have a Black lens, I would say, and have a deep love and connection to Black people. Let me see if I can share this clip. Yeah, if anybody knew Khalid, y'all know the brother was fire. Y'all know the brother did not care about what they call it now, political correctness.
Political correctness, completely uncompromising.
He was, listen, you already know. So let me just see. I have to see. I'm trying to figure out, make sure I can share the audio because sometimes it doesn't go through.
Okay.
Just a second. This is when he was on Sean Hannity, so people probably remember a little bit about that. I see people checking in everywhere. So yeah, make sure y'all, if y'all coming in, y'all just now coming in, we're getting ready to do a short tribute to Brother Colin, and then we're gonna get right into our conversation here tonight. So let me see. Can you see that? Are you able to see that?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, let me see if I can play a little bit of this clip here.
Okay.
Just to hear his voice and let me
Okay.
know. I want people to let me know if they can hear it too.
For example, is the black race or African Americans experiencing so many problems that they're experiencing?
Well, you know the answer to that, and the
No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question.
The cynical tone in your voice doesn't erase the fact that you know. It's due to the wickedness of white America. White people all over the world, white people all over the world have gone into the house of black people, brown people, and red people, robbed them of a knowledge of self, taken their land over, renamed the land, colonized them, enslaved them, and put them under their yoke and way. So whites are in the superior position, no matter what the social, political, economic, or religious order, because of the wickedness and the underhandedness of the white man the world over.
Sir, but not all white people are evil, wicked, or endorsing. Sir, I have never enslaved any human being. Let me finish my point now. I've never enslaved any black person in my life, nor would I endorse that or support that. I certainly look and view the slavery or the history of slavery in this country, for example, as evil, reprehensible, against the will of God in our society. Many white people fought for the freedom of slaves. Many people risked their lives, as did Harriet Tubman, during the Underground Railroad, to see to it that that evil was changed in our society, and I think that was a good thing. I think when you look at the marches of Martin Luther King, white, black together marched for equal justice in our society. Certainly, you're not going to impugn the whole race of white people, are you?
What I am going to say after such a strong statement is that whenever there is any sign of what even appears to be righteousness and that which appears to be a spirit for justice and fair play and fair dealing, I am not one who would blanketly criticize that. If indeed that is your spirit and your personality, and if indeed you can point to many others who are that way, then certainly I would respect that.
Then why should I have respect for you if you don't equally respect me in that vein, if you look at yourself as far superior to me?
I am not one who would just look at myself far superior to you, but let me point this out to you. White people, you should be having this show with one of your own. White people teach that they are the father of medicine, the father of music, the father of history, the father of philosophy, the father of the sciences, the father of all of the disciplines of the world. I think that is a very ethnocentric and a very racist, white supremacist view. They teach us that angel food cake is white, devil's food cake is black. You wear white to weddings and you wear black to funerals. It's not good to lie, buddy, but if you must lie, it's all right if you tell a little white lie. If one is the black sheep of the family, blackball you, blackmail you. If I go to the pool room for a little game of pool, you got a white shiny ball on the table, knocking the hell out of the black ball, the brown ball, the red ball, and all of the balls of color. And the worst ball on the table is the black ball. If I go to church, you got a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pale-skinned white Jesus, when the Bible says that Jesus is a man with nappy hair and black skin. So white supremacy runs throughout every phase of white society the world over. So my position on this show this morning is not to establish some grandiose and way out black supremacy, but to fight white supremacy and meet it head on.
And do you think most Americans, especially white America, is racist and against you to the degree that you're...
Most white Americans.
What percentage would you say?
The United States government boasts about the fact that it is a government where where the majority rules and the minority has to go along with the majority.
What degree of Americans...
So if you have an overwhelming majority of white folks who are so fair and good-hearted in America, why haven't your overwhelming majority of white folks stepped forward to do something about the wretched condition of black people here in America?
Oh, haven't we?
I wanted people to hear his voice, to hear his fire. I oftentimes listen to a lot of his old lectures. I want to say that show was from 1996. It was hard to
Mhm.
get the date on it. As y'all know, with the advancement of technology, people have figured out how to upload radio shows to YouTube and other
Exactly.
forms and everything. So shout out to that because we have access to a lot of his content. The final thing that I will say about our brother and ancestor now, Khalid, is that last year his mentor, uh, Malik Zulu Shabazz. If people know who he is the current leader, if you will, of the New Black Panther Party. He is also an attorney. He lives here in the DC region. And he released this book of Dr. Khalid last year. My husband purchased this book, so we obviously have the book here. And I encourage everybody to get the book. There's some beautiful photos in here. There's some lots of behind the scenes kind of like knowledge about Khalid. I have not heard anything bad about this brother, and because my husband was also a member of the NOI and FO and the FOI, he knows people who knew Khalid, back in the day, and who was under his leadership when he was the minister in New York City. So, it Khalid just meant a lot to me, and he still does, and then he means a lot to our movement.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. One small correction. Mentee, not mentor.
Oh, okay, yeah, Minty. Thank you, baby. Um, so anyway, I want to encourage people to get that book. Please try not to go to Amazon. If you're in DC, you can find it at Sankofa, but you can also get it online from a Black publisher. I want to give a shout out to Sister Awa. Thank you, Sister, for the super chat. Super chats are open. I don't usually ask for them. People usually just give on their own, and I appreciate that. So if you all are so inclined, if you're watching from YouTube, you can certainly contribute to the super chat, and we appreciate that. Greetings to everybody. Come on in, hit the thumbs up button, and thank you all for being here. So, Sister Ren,
Yes.
in the spirit, right, of Dr. Khalid, who was one of the most powerful Black nationalists that we've ever produced in the United States, I was inspired a lot by him and others as well. Um, as a woman, obviously, but also as a Black woman who loves Black people, a Black woman who centers Black people in everything that I do, and someone who seeks the full reunification of African people worldwide, right? I identify as a Pan African nationalist because I believe that it makes sense, certainly in our condition to put ourselves first. And so I wanted to just have a conversation with another sister who had the same leanings, the same kind of ideas. I've been watching you for a while on social media. And so I would just love, just to hear your thoughts in terms of what being a Black woman who centers Black people first and foremost, what does that mean to you, and how important is that to you as well?
So, first of all, I've been following you too, Sister Zakia, and I will say that I am thankful you keep me sane on social media. You let me know that I am not alone
Yes,
in this fight. So
yes,
I will be forever appreciative and forever grateful. Happy birthday to our ancestors. Thank you
yes,
so much for that tribute for Dr. Muhammad in the beginning. But for me personally, and quite simply put, Black nationalism for Black women, it means unity, supporting each other. But most of all, it means self-determination.
that's right.
As a woman, it's important to me because what Black nationalism does is seeks for us to not only find our racial identity, but our national identity.
That's
And for
right.
Black women, that's key. Because we are the keys to the culture. We are the first teachers.
That's
We
right.
are the bearers of life, and we are tasked with making sure that Black life sustains on this planet. And that's why it's so important to me. And not only that, I tell people all the time, it's not good enough to be a woman when
Right.
you are a Black woman.
Right.
You have to be a Black woman. We are distinct. Our plights are unique. You know, we are not like any other women on this
Right.
planet. So
Right.
we have to make sure that we are not just going out there and being women, but we are being Black women in every sense of the word.
Absolutely. And for me, absolutely 100% to everything that you said. When I
Mm-hmm.
think about Black nationalist women, I I think about sisters like Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I
Mm-hmm.
think about Queen Mother Audley Moore. A lot of people don't even know who she is. I think about, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think about, and a lot of these sisters are from the South. I know you're from the South. I was
I'm from
reared and
Louisiana, South
raised
Louisiana.
in Alabama, in the Black Belt of Alabama.
I can
I
hear
grew up, yes, with a very
it.
Black experience. And I have to be honest, I did not grow up in necessarily in a Black nationalist household, even though I grew up in the seat of the civil rights movement. And my family participated in all of that, but I would not say that my family identified as Black nationalists at all. My experiences in the 80s, 90s, and even till today has informed and politicized me into who I am and the kind of work that I do, and why I could never be against anybody that's Black, no matter how they identify. I could never be against Black men. So I don't connect or understand people, whether it's Black women who are adamantly anti-Black men, or whether it's Black men, as we saw, all over the social media this week, some two brothers who have a podcast and are just extremely anti-Black women. So to me, I wanted to have this conversation because I feel like there is so much division, right? There's so much
Mhm.
animosity towards each other, when in my mind we should never be like that, but especially now. There's so much that's happening in terms of global shifts, right? We're dealing with this pandemic. We're dealing with this, shift in the economy, the global economy, that is definitely going to disproportionately impact Black folks, Black women and men, and our children and everybody. So I
Exactly.
do not understand where all of this is coming from. I know you are also you're on Twitter a little bit more than I am. What
Mhm.
I know that you put out a lot of content as well. What is your understanding, I guess, into what you have witnessed within the social media context, and do you think that Black nationalism could be an antidote to what we're seeing?
I think Black nationalism is definitely an antidote to what we're seeing. And before we even go into that, I just want to hold a little space for Queen Mother Moore. Just a little
Please,
space
yes,
for her. She is from I'm from South Louisiana, and she's from here. She was born in New
yes,
Iberia. She later moved to New Orleans. She was
yes,
integral in the UNIA, the Sons
yes.
and Daughters of
In Cobra,
Ethiopia. Exactly. And, for me, I am a supporter of the reparationist movement. And if we cannot talk about the reparationist movement without
without her.
mentioning her. I
That's right.
want her to have her flowers. I want her to have her just due. And I can't even move on from this conversation, from this portion of our conversation, without holding some space
That's
for
right.
my queen
That's
from the
right.
great state of Louisiana. So I just want to say that first and foremost,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because a lot of us that are supporters of reparations, we're standing on her shoulders, and I
That's
don't think
right.
a lot of people realize
No,
that.
no, that's true. That's why I said a lot of people don't even know who she is. That's why I had to mention her. A lot of people don't know who Marimba Ani is. There's so many of these sisters who have been just cast to the shadows.
Yeah.
And there's other, Black women, and we're not getting into a competition, but there's other Black women who were not necessarily Black first, who are lifted up.
Hmm.
And these sisters who certainly paid a hell of a cost financially and in all kinds of ways for being Black first. And so that's why I think it's important for us when we have a conversation, because usually here's the thing: when you hear about Black nationalism, it's sometimes, and most of the time, at least from what I've heard, especially in these recent years, I would say within the last decade, a lot more, there is a visceral reaction. You have people who call us hoteps, right? You have people who say, you know, that's played out, or it's too strong, or you know, or whatever. You know, so people don't tend to even respect the fact that it's natural to want to be free, to want to be liberated, to want to make sure that your people are not a bottom caste. In my mind, you know what
Right.
I mean?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to go in a little bit about how Black nationalism, and particularly among us as women, Black women, can be an antidote to a lot of this fuckery that we see on social media and beyond.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was Martin Delaney, you know, who said that every people should be the originators of their own destiny. And
Mm,
the thing about it is that right now, Black women aren't the originators of our own destiny. We are practicing womanhood through the lens of white womanhood, and that is a problem. I think
woo,
that if we are not able to to be self-determined for ourselves and be able to self-identify, that is what's causing a lot of the division that you're seeing. You're seeing a lot of people especially online, fall into this popularity type thing, you know, to say the most popular thing, because I find they don't really know that there's other ways to gain popularity. They don't know that there's other ways to get people on their side other than the demonization of their own men. I
mm,
think that the issue is that, you know, our voices are definitely marginalized, and
right,
they're definitely marginalized, and that's because a lot of our sisters have fell into the thinking that we have to be feminists, or fall into the teachings of feminism first. No, we
no,
have to be community first. You know, we
period.
have to be Black family first. We have
First,
to be on code first. And
first,
the thing about it is, what they don't realize is that all of this, the separation between us, all it does is promote division. And
right,
the problem with division is that there is no protection for us in division. We're
right.
unprotected when we're divided. And, you know, as we know, a divided people is a divided family. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And
That's right.
a divided family leaves vulnerable children who are not able to reach their full potential. I think that a lot of us have fallen into the thinking that going the other way is going to save us, but we will never gain liberation through the demonization of our men, ever.
Never.
And our men will
We've
never
never.
gain liberation through the demonization of us. You know,
Right. No, I mean, that's absolutely right. And to me, it's common sense. Somebody said somebody they're on a suicide mission. That's got to be what it is, because we're never going to get free without each other. We need each other.
yeah, most definitely. Is at the point right now, I have to question: do some of us even want to be free? You
Well,
know, do we want to be free? You know, are we afraid of what that freedom means? You know, are we afraid of self-determination? Because the way that some of these sisters are moving out here, it seems like we need a leader and we need to be followers, and that's not what we need. We are strong enough, we are smart enough, and our men need us. So
that's exactly right. Our community and our children need us. If we are going to have a chance at real liberation and freedom, we have to be united. And it doesn't have to be just cliche. And I actually want to get into this conversation because this is something that you and I talked about offline a little bit, and because of your expertise. And this is very, very important. Your expertise is in public health, sexual health, and you're a nurse, right? So I know you have
yes.
seen it all. And so I know that because and I think that this is a good segue, and it's connected because a lot of our sisters that we're talking about, let's acknowledge the fact that they have been hurt or harmed in some way, and by people in our community, right? Let's just be honest
Right.
about that. We know
Hmm.
we harm each other. We know that there's intercommunity violence. We're not sitting up here making excuses for it. When I say I'm a Black nationalist woman, I want to see healing for us, right? I know that
Absolutely.
unity is going to require us to heal in so many different ways,
That's
even
right.
from harms that we've done to each other. We're
That's
not
right.
perfect. We're living under oppression.
That's right.
We've been oppressed over 100 years,
That's
okay?
right. That's
And
right.
so we know that these issues exist. One of the things that has really been very popular, as you know, over the years is
Mhm.
this idea of holding sexual assault perpetrators, particularly in our community, accountable. We know about the high profile cases around Bill Cosby, of course, R. Kelly, and I'm sure there's others, but those are the high profile cases of brothers who have been accused by Black women as well of harm, sexual harm to our community. So I
Mhm.
want you, because I know this is something that you and I talked offline about that we wanted to address as a part of this conversation, because I don't think people are actually expecting us to be able to address it, but it's connected because we know that a
Mhm.
lot of sisters who identify as feminists and went to that movement felt that they did not have an outlet in the community. Can you speak to it a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. Intracommunal sexual violence is something that, especially against men, against Black men, it's something
Sure.
that we just have left on the back burner.
Yeah.
It's something that, it seems to be that our collective has said, hey, out of sight and out of mind. But our little Black boys and our men deserve more than that. And I just I jotted down a couple stats because I'm not gonna lie,
Please. Yeah.
I am tired,
Yeah.
and I'm not remembering nothing off the cuff tonight. But I did jot
Okay.
down a couple stats because I wanted to make sure that I had these correct. When I was reciting them. But let me just the first one is 1 in 6 men report having been sexually abused as children. And of course, we know
Wow.
that this is 1 in 6 men. This is not specific to Black men.
Black men.
But
Right.
of course, we know that this number is higher in Black men because in Black men, this often goes underreported or unreported.
Right.
The next stat is in 95% of these cases, the abuser is either a parental figure, a mom, dad, or a parental figure, or a close acquaintance of that child.
Wow.
Um, 14% of all child assault victims were male. And remember, this is not specific to Black men, with 20% occurring at the hands of women.
And we definitely don't talk about that.
This is very damning. And not only that, let me just first make sure that everybody knows that when you go and you're doing research and you
Hmm.
want to do research on Black male sexual violence,
Hmm.
the data is thin. It's
Wow.
very thin. It's very,
Hmm.
very thin. And the thing with intracommunal violence against men, what it does is it seeks to remove men from the conversation of victimhood.
Yeah.
It,
And a
it,
lot of
it-
feminists do that.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely, because men are undeserving. Men are these boogeymen who are undeserving of any type of remorse. They're undeserving of any type of sympathy, and they're definitely undeserving of being a victim. Because how can the predator be a victim? So
Mm.
it's a big issue that we're having, and the lack of data is a even larger issue because
Okay.
we cannot heal what we cannot reveal. If we are
Ooh.
not able to see what's going on within our communities with our young men and our young boys and our babies, how can we help to heal them? If we are creating damaged Black men, if we're creating damaged Black boys, we cannot go back and say and complain about damaged Black men. We are creating them. We're not
Right.
protecting them. Just like Black women and Black girls need and deserve protection, our Black
Absolutely.
men they do as well. And one person I do have to shout out is Dr. Tommy Curry because
Yes. That's my brother. He's been on this program a few times.
yeah, I saw when he was on the program, and once again, represent for Louisiana again. But
Yes.
he has been very just pivotal
Yes.
in Black male studies. And, it's just so funny to me, the pushback. I see that, and
It's nuts. I see it too.
I call it the paradox of the idiotic. I honestly do.
Sis.
Because my thing is this. Now you tell me this. If I have something going on in my body as a healthcare professional that is going wrong, that is dysfunctioning, the first thing I'm going to do is grab every bit of research. The first thing I'm going to do is study it ad nauseum. I'm
That's
going to
right.
make sure that I know every single thing about this thing so I can rectify the situation. So basically, they're basically telling Dr. Kerr, shut up. We don't want to hear that. We don't care. We're just going to complain about y'all, and we don't even want to know why. It's idiotic to me, and it makes absolutely no sense. And I think that that's something that's going to come back and bite a lot of these folks in the behind at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, because listen, Black male studies is actually happening. In fact, I'm going to have a brother on at the end of the month, the last Wednesday of this month, because I air every Wednesday at 8. Dr. Sergi McDowell. He's also a Black male studies scholar and has written a book on Black masculinity in the context of the United States. And I'm so looking forward to having that brother on. He's a scholar. There's a couple of other brothers, Dr. Hassan, T. Hassan Johnson. Shout out to that brother. He's out in California, I believe, at Fresno State University or University of California, Fresno, one of them, something like that. So there's a number of brothers who are starting to really do this work unapologetically and center Black men and what's happening with Black men and allowing them to come out of the shadows, if you will. I have to bring this up since we're talking about this, and because this just happened last week, and I said that you and I would talk about it.
Yeah.
Jim Jones, the hip hop artist, literally sat on a podcast and revealed that his mother taught him how to French kiss by actually kissing him, by French kissing him, her son, as
Right.
a child. And he seemingly didn't think that that was abnormal. He said it almost like, yeah, my mama taught me. Your mama's supposed to teach you stuff like that. And like Black men themselves sometimes who have experienced things like that don't even realize that they've been a victim of sexual. That's not normal. That's not right. I have a son. I have a daughter too. That's not normal. You don't do that to your children.
Absolutely.
And the fact that this brother said that publicly, and obviously he tried to retract it later, but he said that publicly, thinking that like that was something normal, like everybody mama do that.
Right. Right.
That
Right.
broke my heart. You know,
Yeah.
that a lot of times brothers don't even realize that they've been victims. How much of an impact, based on your research, certainly based on your expertise as a sexual, health expert, how often do you think, or do you see that in your work, and how often do you think that that happens and that's an issue?
It happens more than I think than what the general public can even imagine that it is happening. Personally, and I know this is just my anecdotal evidence, but personally, I don't think I've ever ran into or had a conversation with a Black man who has not told me of some situation that has happened to him in his youth, dealing with an
Mm,
older woman trying to, have sex with him, trying to sexually assault him, coming on to, you even think about it, like it starts at infancy. We have our, because I have a son too. We have our little boys, and the thing about it is, the first thing they say is, "Oh, he's gonna break some hearts." Why is that the first thing y'all thinking about when it comes to our babies? Or, "Oh, this is my little boyfriend." Now, if this was a male provider, you think it would be okay for them to say it about a little girl baby? "Oh, this is my little girlfriend."
yeah, that's
It's
nuts.
to me, the world, it just refuses to see Black men as being capable
Fully
of
human.
being victims. Yeah,
Yeah.
even humanized or even being victims. And in turn, what you see, the phenomenon that you see is that since this is what the world sees and this is what we're putting out there, Black men in turn, they don't see themselves as victims.
Victims.
They cannot see themselves as being victimized. And if we cannot see ourselves as something, if we can't identify with that, we will never get any type of healing from it whatsoever. And then I think that to speak to another issue,
Yes, please.
sexual harassment.
Oh, now I
Sexual
used to
harassment.
witness that happen all the time to Black men,
That's right.
and they
That's
never
right.
report it. Never.
They never reported. Black men have been completely removed from the conversation of sexual harassment unless they are the ones doing the harassing.
Harassing. There it is.
And that's the thing. I grew up with brothers. I was raised by my father, and I have seen this in my face.
Mhm.
I've grown up seeing this stuff. And you hear stories all the time of men saying that women are, trying to kiss on them, unwanted advances, even to the point of trying to put their pants down and assault them, because that's what
Wow.
it is. It is assault,
Right.
and people just refuse to see that Black men can be victims of sexual violence.
Right.
They think of Black men as always leading with sex, leading with their sexual urges,
Right.
leading
They
with
think
their
they want it. They're
penises.
supposed to be glad.
That's
They should
right.
want
That's
sex
right.
all the time.
Even as Black male children. Now
About that. Yeah.
think about that. Think about that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, and these comments, everybody is just, is resonating because a lot of brothers are watching. In fact,
Hmm.
my channel is majority brothers. It's about half and half, but it's a little
Hey
bit more
guys.
brothers. Yeah,
Yeah.
brothers. Who watch this channel because they know that this is a safe space. They know that I love them. I love us. And so I had to bring that up because it's in the context of the conversation that we're talking about
Hmm.
Black nationalism, because unfortunately a lot of especially liberal academics, I see my brother Talawa is in here, he's going to be on
Hmm.
next week again. Really appreciate that brother's analysis. But one of the things that I know that has happened, especially over the last 20 to 30 years, and certainly as of
Hmm.
recent, most Black studies departments in this country are not nationalist leaning at all anymore. They're
Yeah.
mostly gender studies department, Black feminist led in studies department. Um, they do not, in fact, they have decentered Black men and created Black men as the actual oppressor and the boogeyman. They've even removed the white man as the boogeyman and the real oppressor. Now, Black men are the oppressors that you hear from these sisters, and it's nuts to me. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
I had that conversation today, actually. And the
Okay.
conversation was kind of like, how is it that we have allowed the most vile subset of men to be absolved of their wrongdoings? How have
Hmm.
we allowed that to happen? How have we allowed our men to be interchanged with them?
Right.
How do we even allow this? It's just it's a lot that has to be unlearned, but I would never give up on my people. I would never give up on talking, teaching, and doing exactly what we need to do to keep on pushing the message. I think one thing about Black nationalist women is that we don't seek the path to liberation through the destruction of our men.
No.
We
Thank.
do
That's number one.
not. That's first and foremost. That
Foremost.
is,
Yeah.
you will not see that. We do not think that we can liberate ourselves by demonizing our men. We cannot clean up a mess by piling more mess on top of that mess. And in terms of liberation, we have to ask ourselves, what exactly do we want our path to liberation to be paved with? What exactly do we want it to be paved with? It damn sure will not be paved with the demonization of our men.
That's right.
You know, it damn sure would not be paved with not protecting our women and our children.
That's right.
You know, we're gonna pave this path to our liberation through self-determination. You know, we're gonna pave it through social cohesion. You know, we're gonna pave it through rejecting anti-blackness. You know,
Right.
we are gonna pave it through creating strong black men, strong black women, and intact black children. So
Yes, yes. And the Black family. We don't even talk about us as a family unit. You know what I mean?
right,
There's even been a liberal attack on the family. Like it's not even cool to talk about, wanting to have an intact Black family. Like
that's
people
right.
actually get offended. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
From talking about that. Like there's people who are actually offended by seeing a beautiful Black man married to a Black woman with Black children. In fact, we talked about this on a couple of shows ago. Brother Talawa was on the show, and Sister Toyo. We talked about the programming even in these TV shows where you see there is a decentering of Blackness in and of itself, but you also see this push of interracial coupling, and this especially when you see, I am starting to see particularly more white men with Black women who even have natural hair.
yeah,
I mean, that's being pushed really, really heavily. And you're hard pressed to find anything in popular culture in the media, even from some so-called Black outlets, that really centers Black family.
absolutely. Yep, yep. You know, we have to also understand that we're gonna have to go out there and do it ourselves. The media is literally the strong arm of propaganda.
Yeah,
And we are going to have to go out there and do it ourselves, such as having broadcasts like this.
that's right.
Um,
That's why I created this. I'm like, I gotta create
absolutely.
something because I can't take it no more.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, sis. I don't really do a lot of this. I literally just started being more active in the spaces on Twitter because I am,
Yeah,
you know,
love it.
I am busy. You know, I am, you know, raising a family, and I am a professional, and I do have other things. I'm just
Things
trying
to
to
do.
get 8 hours of sleep a night, which I'm never successful in doing. But
Right,
you know, I have to. We have a responsibility. You know, the media is not going to stop.
right.
It's not going to stop. It's only going to get stronger. You know, the messages are going to get more radical, and to counter that, we just going to have to get as strong and as radical as they are,
Yeah.
and we're
And
going
I
to have to
think
do it ourselves.
that's why we have to do, and I think that's why I know I'm committed, because I can't do this every day either. That's why I was like, in 2022 I want to be a little bit more consistent with
Hmm.
having this. I need to dedicate this type of propaganda, this type of energy out into the atmosphere to counter all of this stuff that's on social media, that's in popular culture. I'm like, I can sit back and complain about it, or I can create some content of my own to help neutralize some of it, right? And it's up to us, everybody that's in this space, right? So even if y'all just coming in, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, right? We got to beat the algorithms. You got to make sure you share it. You got to make sure, create conversations out of videos like this. I know some people go back and clip up my videos and repost them. You know what I mean? I remember I
Right.
saw a brother on Twitter do that about 6 months ago, and it went viral. It was like a little small clip, and I'm like, that's what we have to do
That's right.
to
That's right.
counter a lot of these anti-Black narratives. And I think we have to be really clear, and I want to be really clear, that clearly they know this unity is to their advantage, to
That's right.
keep their power
That's
over us,
right.
right?
That's right. That's right.
And so it's up to us, those of us who know better, right, to make sure that we are, again, providing some type of antidote. And I think that people need to know that being a Black nationalist is sexy. If you claiming you out here about liberation and you love Black people, you should embrace that as an
That's
identity.
right. That's
To
right.
me,
That's right. That's right.
especially our women, it's almost like people be scared. I even had somebody, when I was advertising for this, of course I blocked
Mhm.
this person on my on my Instagram page. It was a white woman, had the nerve to comment and say, well, you know, black nationalism is just as bad as white nationalism. And I hate those type of comparisons. That's a
Right.
liberal, that's a
The
very,
liberal talking point.
oh my God,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
dumb shit. Like, no,
Yep.
it's not. Shut up, bitch. And I didn't even respond. I just blocked and deleted the comment because I don't have time for that. And you white anyway, why are you even in our business? I see a lot of that. You know
Right.
what I mean? Especially on social media, they just show up and just start commenting. Ain't nobody talking to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You
girl,
know, the thing about it is we have to understand too that we have given them permission to just show up and start talking.
so many of us have.
You
I haven't,
know,
but so many of us have.
right. When
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. No,
not us,
I know,
but you
yeah.
know, yeah. You know you know what I'm talking about.
Woo.
But we have given them permission to show up under our posts, show up under our threads, show up under our videos, and just start talking. You know, we have given them that audacity. And right now, this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the issue that you run into when you allow people into the floodgates of your culture. This is the issue that you run into because now they feel entitled to it.
Right,
You know,
right,
that they feel that they know your culture better than you do. They feel like they can help with the ills of solve the ills of your culture better
right,
than you can.
right,
So
right.
yeah, it's a problem, and I learned very early on, and I talk to a lot of younger women
Mhm.
on Twitter, you know, privately. I talk to them and I tell them, you know, don't ever, you know, have this world or have social media. First of all, don't feed into social media because most of these people on here are not the people that you think they are. You know, they are living lives that they are very, very ignored in. And this is the only outlet for them to have some type of control and feel like they are, you know, they have a little power. But don't ever think that supporting your men is a bad thing. You know, don't ever think that being nationalistic, black nationalistic in your thinking is a bad thing. You know,
Right,
I wasn't trying to build a platform on Twitter. I just was tweeting. You
right.
know, I was just saying how I felt and it just resonated with
With
people, you
people.
know.
Yeah.
That's it. And authenticity is gonna speak louder than anything else ever can. So you know, I tell these young women all the time because mentorship is very important to me. Every chance I get, I talk about mentorship. You know, you can say it all you want to, you can do all you want to, but if you're not reaching back and helping the children, especially the children
Especially our babies.
that you did not personally birth,
That's
then
right.
we don't need to have much, you know, many more conversations. And I know that I kind of jumped all over the place when we were talking
No, this was
about,
good.
yeah, when we were talking about you know, intercommunal sexual violence. But you know, I always think my mind is always trying to think to solutions. You
Mhm.
know, my mind is always trying to think to what can we do. You know, what can we do as a people on the ground. You know,
Right.
I love theory. You know, I've based a lot of my professional work in theory, but I want practice. You know,
Okay.
I love when theory translates to practice. And the one thing that I have found, just going back to that topic, the one thing that I
Sure.
have found is that sexual health education and also reproductive health education is not geared toward our young boys.
Mm-mm.
It's not. You know, when we do education, and I've been, you know, in parts of my career back in the day, you know, before I got, you know, a little bit more knowledgeable about what was going on. You know, I saw how we would talk about periods, you know, we would talk about sexual abuse, but all of these things would be directed towards young women. You know, in reproductive health, who are they reproducing with? Are they asexual? Are they? I mean, like, who are they reproducing with? They are reproducing with boys, with men. They need to also understand their bodies as well. So, you know, I always think towards solutions, and the one thing that I do know is that we have got to be very intentional especially when it comes to sexual violence against young boys. Mentorship, mentorship, mentorship. A lot of these children do not have safe places. They do not have safe people they can go to or they
Yeah.
can turn to. We have to be those safe places and we have to be those safe people. Every single person that's here tonight and that's tuning in, they're tuning in for a reason.
Right.
And I want them to know that no matter how small, you can do something that matters. You
Right.
can do something that helps to save our little black boys and our little black girls in our community. You know,
Yes.
we're here all tonight for a reason, not because we don't have anything else to do, but because we care about the liberation of our people.
That's
So,
right. That's right. That's right. There's a question here in the
mhm,
chat.
mhm.
Sanafu, I hope I said your name right. And please forgive me if I did not. Said, what do men and women need to do collectively to build African community? And that's such a beautiful question because it's like, let's just get to it, right? What's the practicality of what we need to be doing? I'll take a stab at this, and then Sister Ren, you can also answer.
Okay.
So number one, I think that you know we need to acknowledge our our position, where we are, what's happening, how things are transpiring in our communities, and also I think that there needs to be continuous healing happening.
Yeah.
And I say that all the time, and I've also said on this program that I recommend the Warriors, Healers, and Builders method, by an African warrior elder couple down in Atlanta. They're based in
Mhm,
Atlanta, Baba Wakesa and Mama Afia Mazimoyo,
mhm,
who've been doing this work for decades. They even host a Black Love Day every year before COVID. It was in person, and they would give out awards and things like that. I mean, they are intentionally healing the emotional health, the mental health of our people, because I don't think that we concentrate on that at all. Somebody mentioned in the comments earlier psychological warfare. That's true.
yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff that we see that's transpiring, a lot of the root of it is psychological warfare.
That's right.
Where people are playing on our emotions, playing games, and certainly politicizing even our emotions and hurt feelings, and making us, what I mean, just go at each other and be distracted by doing things like that. So number one, I think that has to be dealt with before we can even start to even deal with other things that are practical, like economics and,
Right.
and, and education and all of those different things,
Right.
building an economic base. Before we can even build the economic base, sister or brother warrior scholar, we got to deal with our mindset, because
Mhm.
we have to understand and acknowledge that a lot of us don't even trust each other. How we gonna build an economic base when we don't even want to trust and spend with each other? You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? So there's a
That's right.
lot of work that we have to do in order to get to where we need to be as African people. But I want to allow you to also respond to that question, because I thought it was a really good question.
Yeah, it's a beautiful question, and whoever put it in the chat, thank you for
Yes,
that. I think the most important part for us is self determination first and foremost. I
that's
think
right.
that we need to be able to define who we are as a people, what we stand for, what
Yes.
codes we live by, and we have to stick to them. I don't think
Yes.
that we can ever make moves if we're moving in two or three or four different directions. And right now, that's what's going on. We moving in 15 different directions. There's no cohesion there.
Yes.
There's no cohesion there. So the first step to total restoration for us. And like you said, it's not just restoring us in the monetary sense. We have to restore our self identity.
Yeah.
We have to be able to self determine. We have to be able to get a code, build a code, agree to the code, and stick by the code. And
Ooh-wee.
those are the first
The
things that
code.
the code, we will not be able to do a damn thing
Come
if
on.
we are not able to be cohesive in our thinking and cohesive in us following a code. We're going
Right.
in so many different directions.
Yeah. No, I
I I tell
completely
my kids
agree.
all the time. I tell them because I have a daughter that's she's 19. She's a freshman in college, And I tell her, I said, this is the thing. I said, in order for you to steady yourself, you got to plant your feet.
Yeah,
But after you plant your feet, I need you to start walking.
that's right.
You have to at least make steps towards what your goals are. So,
Right.
I think to answer the question, I think that our very first step is to self-determine. We have to be cohesive. We got to find a code, y'all. We got to stick to it. We got to be serious about it because right now, I don't think that people understand the situation that we're in. Our situation is it. We're in a very precarious situation, you
Very.
know.
And it's getting worse.
Day by day by day, it is getting worse. And
Worse.
while it's getting worse, we are sitting on social media arguing about shit that don't
Fighting over
matter.
dumb shit. Ooh.
I can't take it. Sometimes I open the app and girl, I close it right
I
back because
close
I'm
it
like,
right back
I'm
down.
not doing this shit today.
I'm not doing this today. I am not doing this with y'all today.
I'm
And
like,
that makes me want to go back to Sister Marley, who's also been a guest on this program. Sister Marley said we need to break up with us because a lot of us are anti-black. Listen, I keep saying that, even though it hurts me, because I love us and I know that the anti-blackness has been socialized and inculcated in so many of us because it benefits the enemy. So a
right.
part of me that hurts me, but I know even Sister Harriet had to travel with a pistol. You
That's
feel me?
right. That's
You know what I mean?
right.
So I
That's
get it.
right.
I get it, Sister Marley, but I want to try first.
Yeah.
Let's just try to have a conversation one time with them, please.
Yeah.
And let
Yeah.
them try to let it soak in, give them a little bit of a time, but we're not gonna keep going back. I do agree
Right.
with that. We can't keep going back to an abusive thing. If they want to go their own way, they want to be with white supremacy, they team white supremacy. You know what? Let them go. I'm
That's
with that.
right. That's
But
right.
but I do think we should try to reach as many of our people as we can because it hurts me that there will be some of us that we will have to leave behind. And I know that that's going
Absolutely.
to have to be a part of it. It still hurts my
Absolutely.
feelings.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a thing of self-preservation, and I'm like you, Sister Zakia. People fuss at me because I give people so many chances. I'm
Me
like, okay,
too.
I'm just gonna, I'm
Me too.
rooting for them, and
Because I love us.
right, I love us, and I love my people, and I really do root for us, and I know that it may be far in there. For some, it may be in the pits in there, but it's in there.
It's
The
in there.
want and the need for self-determination, the want and the need to self-identify, it's there. It's
Yes,
there. Sometimes we just need a little bit extra to pull it out.
that's
But we also cannot drown trying to help other people swim or sink. So,
right.
we have to definitely be, we have to reach back and we definitely have to help our people, but we also have to believe in self-preservation.
Yes,
We can't preserve the collective if we have broken pieces that's keeping us drowning. So,
that's right.
I
That's right.
get it.
I
I get
do.
it.
Yeah, Sister Marla, you're absolutely right, sis. Now we agreeing with you. We got you,
We
sister.
we we got you, Marley.
We got you, Marla. Because Marla, listen, honey, love that sister. She goes hard for us, and she loves us too. Like she's been a guest on this program, and as I told her before, she's always welcome back. But listen, we got a couple more minutes. I
Okay.
do not want to keep you over an hour because, like you
Okay.
said, you are a professional. You got a family. And I know that you work a full-time job. You're a nurse, so I know you're taking care of us. And I'm glad you in healthcare. Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
have to we'll have a separate conversation about that. When you
Absolutely.
come back, because I really want you to lean in on some of that too, from an African centered perspective, because I think that is critically important, especially now, as you know, for a
Yeah.
number of reasons.
Yeah.
We need African warriors in the healthcare field for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
but I wanted to just give you an opportunity to share any closing remarks because, like I said, I'm definitely not keeping you over an hour. I'm trying to be better about my time too,
Yeah.
with folks, and then I'll let people know what's coming up next week, and then you
Okay.
can get on out of here.
Look, I apologize because I'm gonna tell you, sister, I am a talker. I am from South Louisiana. Once you get me
I love
started,
it.
I will not stop. So
I love it. No, it's good.
I'm a talker. So, in closing, I just want to say first and foremost, I'm very appreciative of this invitation. Just seeing some of the people and some of the shows that you have done. I am humbled by the invitation. I only want what's good for our people, not for Black women, not for Black men, but for our Black
All of it.
collective.
Yes.
That's
The
my
Black
only
family.
goal. The Black family. That's it. That's my only goal. And I would just like to say to people, to anybody out there that's listening who may be thinking of getting more into the Black nationalist movement for women, give it a chance.
Yeah.
Do your research. Do your research, give it a chance, and see exactly what we are talking about. We are talking about liberating our people, and it's not just going to help you, and it's not just going to help me, it's going to help all of us. So
That's
I'm
right.
just very appreciative. And I want to say that we have got to protect our babies. Just one, one,
Yes.
one last thing. I'm not gonna keep you. I'm not. Now I got to talk about not keeping you. But one last thing, and going back to solutions, is we have to prioritize in-home sexual health and reproductive health education.
Yes.
In order for us to
I'll
keep,
bring you back just to talk about that. Seriously.
absolutely,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
that's important to me. Hmm.
Right. In order for us to keep, white people out of our neighborhoods, we have to be in them.
Thank
So
you.
that's my thing. I just finished because I'm in global health, so I just finished teaching a group of young children virtually because of COVID in Cape Town. And to me, it was just amazing to see because their issues aren't very different than our issues that we are
Right.
facing in the West, and it's the same thing. Little boys in Cape Town. I had ages from 8 to 14, but little boys in Cape Town, they were given absolutely no sexual health education at all. At all. We have to prioritize this, and we cannot wait to say, oh, they don't do it in schools. We don't need them to do it in schools. Schools start at home. And if
Yes.
you are unable, or if you feel, and it's okay for parents to feel uneasy, because that's not everybody's lane, and that's okay. You find somebody that is comfortable, and I have many friends and families who bring their children to me so I can talk to them about sexual health, because I feel comfortable doing it, and they don't. I don't care how your child get the information. Just make sure that your child is getting the information, and make sure that
Right.
the information is sound.
That's
And
right.
that's my closing words. I love you all. I am almost done with my beans. We are finished right on time.
Yes.
I was up in
Yes.
there cooking some red
Yes.
beans. I said I'm
Yes,
gonna go
sis.
ahead and put these red beans on, and by the time we done, they'll be
They'll
done.
be
So
ready. Yeah. You got them in the crock pot.
oh no, I don't do crock pots, sis. I do them on the stove.
I know that's right. I ain't
I
mad at you.
old
I
school
know they
on the
good
stove.
too. The next time I come down to Louisiana, I'm definitely gonna hook up with you in person. I promise you that.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
I wanna address this sister here because she did Sister Hylena, and again I apologize if I'm butchering your name, but appreciate you for watching and thank you for asking this important question. Most black people suffering from PTSD. I can tell you that. Okay, like just being black in America giving us PTSD. Real talk. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Um, I would say, in terms of for your husband, I think that because of the healthcare system in general, including the mental health care system, it's very racist, like everything else, and it's very anti-black. So a lot of men don't see the value in counseling because they see it as, they probably sitting across from some white therapist telling them some shit that they don't understand, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm saying all that to say that if the brother needs some support, I don't know what city you're in, but if you're in a black majority city, you probably have a higher chance of finding a black male therapist, that you can go to social media or even Google to just find a black male therapist. For that brother, I say start there because you have a better chance of the brother may be able to connect a little bit better with a black male therapist. And then finally, I'll say, if you're on Instagram, sister, there is a page called Black Men Heal. And I
Mm-hmm.
encourage you to follow that page, and you can probably DM them for some actual resources that may be able to help, your husband. And I appreciate you being a good wife trying to help your husband, because I understand we love our men, and we know that we in there with them, especially when we are together and we rocking with them, and we know they need some support. So I really appreciate you for coming in. You're in Aurora, Illinois, so I'm not sure how far that is from Chicago, but definitely go to Instagram. Black Men Heal is the page. I follow that page. They give a lot of good resources. They have lives where they talk about these things. So I encourage you even to reach out directly to them, because they do have some professionals. And now I believe because of COVID, a lot of the therapists are able to do things cross state if they're doing a virtual session. So
Right.
that may be something for you, to check into. And I'm so glad that you felt comfortable asking us that question. I did not want to get off this live without answering your question, sister. And thank you for reaching out. And thanks so much to everybody that's listening. I appreciate you all rocking with me every week, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Next week, we got Brother Talawas coming back, and we talking about bedroom colonialism, y'all. We brought it up a little bit earlier today about them pushing these interracial relationships. The brother gonna break it down.
Ooh.
And so y'all better be ready for that one. I already know we probably gonna get some haters in the comments on that.
Yeah.
But we gotta address it.
I will be present.
We gotta talk about these things.
I will be present.
We seem to think white supremacy apply to everything but sexual relations. Okay.
Right, exactly.
Oh my
exactly.
God.
Exactly.
So we this is a channel where we just gonna have real talk. I'm not censoring nobody. We gonna talk about these things, and we gotta have a conversation about it. So next week, make sure y'all are here, same place, same time. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I promise you're gonna love it here. You're gonna love it here.
And sister, can I just say one quick thing to the sister that had the question?
Yes.
I may have some resources, Sister Hill. I can't pronounce your first name, so I don't want to butcher it, but I may have some resources. If you can leave your contact information or email or something like that. But I just want to kind of say, I like Sister Zakia said, I commend you for being the best wife you can to try to find some outlets for your husband, but just be patient with them, because sometimes if we push people to do stuff before they're ready, sometimes it creates more damage than than they already are going through. So just be real. Utilize a lot of patience with that brother, sister. Utilize a lot of patience with them.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the show tonight, you guys. We appreciate you all. Again, next week, Brother Talawa here. We talking about bedroom colonialism. Go on and mark your calendar, honey, because that brother goes in. Do you understand? And he is not gonna let up on it. And some of y'all gonna get mad. I already know. So I'm
excited.
You know, I'm in here talking crazy either, because y'all want to be in love with y'all white women and white men and stuff. So let's.
I'm excited. Thank you so much. And this was so great. I am excited. I am going to be very happy being a spectator. Thank you. I see it. Let me jot that down really quickly. So
make sure you.
I'm gonna just take a quick little screenshot of it so that I'll have it, and I'll email you some resources that I know of.
I'm so glad you watched. See, to get some resources. That's what we're here for. That you listen. Real talk is about love for Black people, and we always have real talk. And so we're gonna see y'all next week again. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, because sometimes I do impromptu lives. I haven't done them in a while, but sometimes I do. So make sure you hit the notification bell, subscribe, and share this broadcast. We talked about a lot of good stuff here.
We did.
All right, you guys. Good night. We'll see you all next week. Take care.
Good night. Thank you so much, sis. Good night.